Hey guys, what's going on? It's Don here from Novaspirit Tech and welcome back to my channel. Today's video is actually kind of be a limbo video. What I mean by limbo is that I'm actually in a limbo where I have a couple of projects where it's not releasable. Let me show you guys what I'm talking about. So here I have my Raspberry Pi 4 and Raspberry Pi 3. I'm actually trying to get the Raspberry Pi 4, the Windows 10 for Raspberry Pi 4 video working. But this is taking forever. This little progress bar, it takes a couple of hours. It's been going for 3 or 4 hours. So I can't rely on that being finished to see if I'm able to get Windows 10 on the Raspberry Pi 4 working. This video is a pretty cool video. This is a monster joystick. If you've seen my previous review on it, they actually updated the entire thing and I can't wait to test this out. But I have not put this up yet because I was actually going to do this video today. But the company reached out to me and told me to hold off a little bit. This is the Raspberry Pi 4 NAS project. So this is going to be going up next week instead. And that's why I'm in a limbo, because I was supposed to do this first. I also got hard drives and everything for it. But yeah, so instead I'm going to be building my Linux editing rig. And I've been meaning to build this for probably the past 4 months. And I have not had the opportunity. The only machine that I have that is running Windows is this guy right behind me, because it's my gaming machine also, and I run all my Adobe editors on here, Photoshop, Premiere, and everything. And Premiere and all that other stuff does not run very well on Linux. It doesn't play well at all. And I want to completely switch over to Linux soon, so I've been actually using DaVinci Resolve as my Linux editor for probably the past 2 months or 3 months on my laptop. Now, I need a dedicated machine, something with more RAM, more horsepower, graphic card, everything like that, just to completely switch over. So I've been meaning to build this Linux machine for quite some time. And now that I'm using my laptop to do the Linux reviews that you've seen, the Linux like customization videos, I kind of knocked that out of the bench and I'm not able to edit videos using Linux anymore. I'm back to square one. I'm going to be building this machine. So this also gives me the opportunity to kind of go through what's been going on with my channel and, you know, talk to you guys a little bit. So let's put this together. All right, so here we have my old machine, which is a B350 with the Ryzen 7 1700. And I bought more RAM for this. This is on sale when I bought it during Black Friday, which was, I think, 50 bucks for 16 gigs of RAM. And I also got this for like 40 bucks, I think, on Black Friday for M.2. And this will be the graphic card that I'm using, which is RX 570, 8 gigs of RAM. This is actually a pretty good graphic card, especially this is what I use to run my VR setup. And yeah, Linux plays really well with AMD graphic cards, so that's why I'm going to be using AMD. Now this case is a Corsair, I can't even think of the name. It's a pretty old case, but I think I'm going to replace it because, to be honest, I want to replace this motherboard with an ITX and do an ITX setup for this editor. But for now, since I have just this case, I'm going to be using this for now. So let's get building. So you can tell that this is a very old computer and power supply because of the mustard color. Now this is still I think it was a Corsair 850 watt, 80 plus, very old power supply, but it works. I'm not planning to change it. I should reroute these cables because I forgot why I moved it here. Oh yeah, I used to have a water cooling up on top and this got in the way, so I couldn't reroute it in the back. So I might have to reroute some of the wires. This case isn't that great. I thought when I used to have this case, it was amazing, but after using it for quite some time, it's pretty big for a small motherboard like this. Well, you know what? I'm going to put the heatsink on first because I have to lay that down, and then I'll start rerouting the cable. So I'll be right back in a second after I put the fan in. All right, there you go. It's installed. That way I did put thermal paste and everything. I had to clean it up, but laying it down was a little bit easier. Just pulled out the CPU pin, so I'm about to plug it into the back. But again, like I said, this gives me the opportunity to explain or kind of talk to you guys what I'm doing with the channel. And if you noticed recently, I've been uploading more home DIY server builds, more like a home lab, and that's kind of the direction I'm aiming for recently. I like to do that stuff. That's how come I do a lot of my Raspberry Pi projects with that type of content, like the VPNs and stuff. I'm just moving it to a larger scale. Instead of just doing it on Raspberry Pis, I'm actually going to be more focused on home labs and stuff. Now I've also got more computer builds that you've seen, and I'm sticking more towards like a budget friendly build instead of having to do those expensive, you know, $5,000 builds that not much people could reach. So yeah, I'm aiming towards that market. And recently, and it's not to say that I'm not going to do Raspberry Pi videos anymore. It's I'm slowing down on them, but I am going to do major ones like you see the Raspberry Pi 4, Windows 10 for it, or other stuff. And as far as like board reviews, I am going to dabble on board reviews, but I am going to be very selective as far as what kind of boards I'm going to be reviewing. Not every board that I would see I would review. It's just the ones that I believe in the project and believe that they're doing something and they're going to keep maintaining. Because a lot of boards I reviewed, as soon as 3 months later, it's like they don't even use it anymore, or the support for it is terrible. So I'm working on being selective on what boards I review as far as SBCs. Overall, that's mainly where I'm heading towards the, oh yeah, also a lot of more Linux tutorials. That's what I'm aiming on. I use Linux a lot. That's like my primary operating system if I had a choice, because my Windows, my editor is not. I would like to kind of introduce you guys more towards like Linux and software and stuff that you could do with Linux. And I see that you guys are enjoying that type of content as well. So I think I made a good choice as far as where I'm taking my channel direction. And for all you OG subscribers out there, I see a lot of you guys comment and stuff, and I really do like that you guys are still sticking around for the change. But honestly, it's not that big of a change because I do some similar stuff already. All right, let me get this Gen 3 512. These are like, now I got RGB. This whole thing's going to be RGB. I don't know if I'm going to like it. Okay, let's get this board on and remove that screw. Now, if there's specific like content that you are enjoying, that you are more enjoying than the other, let me know down in the comments below. Like if you like the Linux ones versus the DIY NAS or stuff like that, let me know, because I'm trying to target, and like I said, I'm doing a shift on my channel, and if I get your input, it helps a lot so I know where to focus more on. This thing I need to remove. Get this out of the way. I'm also putting more hard drives in here in the future, more SSD hard drives so I could use for caching, offloading, editing. But for now, I'm going to stick with the M.2 just for a little bit until I can get that going. Wow, this graphic card sits really tall. It's like almost towards the case. Couldn't even believe how tall this one is. But yeah, get that in, get that snapped in so it doesn't move. Power, pull back a little bit of the slack. You might have noticed I don't have any case fans. I am planning to use some 140 millimeter fans I got over here. Place them up on top. These are the Alpha Cool 140. They're pretty silent. That's why I like to use them. You could run them at pretty low RPM. And I made some drill outs just so I could install these on top. It's just this cable in the way. So yeah, I'll go like that up on top, and then I'll have another one over there. So give me a second, I'll install these and then I'll show you the end product. All right guys, so this is it. I got it running right now. There's no operating system, it's just powering up. I got the RGB RAM. I wonder if I can control it. I doubt it. This is some like really cheap RGB RAM. I got my Ryzen, I think this is called the Spire or the Prism. No, the Prism is a square one, but I think it's called the Spire. That's working pretty good. That is it. I'm going to close this guy up and install Linux and see how well it performs. All right, so now I have my system all set up and booted, and it looks not too bad with the RGB RAM and the Ryzen cooler. I am gonna boot into my USB. Now, the only USB I had laying around was my Pop! OS. So I'm going to be installing that just for now. I'm not exactly sure what operating system I'm going with yet. It's definitely going to be Ubuntu or Debian based, because the installer for DaVinci Resolve is based on Debian. So I'm going to have to use like a deb package or something like that. I never was able to get DaVinci Resolve to work on Arch Linux. I don't know exactly what it is, and I haven't dove too deep into it, but I think it has to do with pulse audio or some sort of audio issue. I don't think it's a graphic card issue itself, but yeah, I'm going to be installing Ubuntu on this Pop! OS 19.10. So there we have it, guys. I'm going to be spending the next couple of hours installing Ubuntu and all my apps onto this guy. And if you guys are interested in installing DaVinci Resolve, I do have a write-up on it, which I'll leave down in the links below. If you guys have any questions or comments about this, please do so and let me know what's going on. Like, do you like the NAS builds? Do you like, all the questions that I asked earlier? If you guys could answer those, that'd be great. Now, if you guys are new to this channel, consider subscribing and also hitting that bell notification icon so you know when the next video is going to be out. And as I say in my nerd cave, hack till it hurts.